Kevin, this dude, he was here at like 6:30 sitting on a log, never asked me if... Did I ever show you this?
Well, friends, good afternoon. So, every tree guy who, well, let's just say uneducated kind of tree guy who gets a call to prune fruit trees, his first inclination is he kind of gets nervous.
And I mean like me. That's what I mean by uneducated tree guy. Like I didn't go to arborist school or fruit tree pruning school. I just wrecked a bunch of fruit trees in the beginning, just like I wrecked a bunch of fir trees in the beginning, right? That's the beautiful thing about the tree service. you learn as you go, unless you wake up at 18, 19 years old one morning and go, I'm going to be an arborist or a fruit tree pruner. And you go to school and learn about it. You can do that. You can do that on the internet. I did not. I learned from people and by doing. So this is just me saying to you, there's a few basics you got to know. You're not going to kill your tree unless you really starve it of foliage. Leave foliage in the tree, scrape off suckers, have some fun, experiment, learn. It's a freaking tree.
Because he doesn't know exactly what to do. He doesn't. And then there's the old rules. Take everything that's shooting up and crossing over. It's a great rule to go with, friends. It is. As you can see, all this is all water shoots. Save the old wood. So you want to go in and save old wood. This is just a sucker pruning, friends, is all I'm talking about right now. I'm literally just talking about sucker pruning. I'm not talking about thinning cuts or anything like that. I'm not. I'm literally, this tree has not been pruned for years actually. And all I'm gonna do, like there's a bunch of dead wood in here. We're gonna have to go at that, but I'm gonna get a chainsaw at it. But when you have a tree like this, you can piddle around with your loppers, or you can get out a freaking power saw. See, like I'm actually gonna get a power saw out. See, this is dead. There's nothing to it. It's completely dead. So to do this style of pruning, but you'll see it up there. Look at where it comes from. I'm gonna make it disappear right now. Okay, friends, so that's kind of what you get there for the top. I've just taken out suckers, is all I've done. This thing looks more like a fruit tree now, and there is a ton of foliage on the ground. And it's not the funnest work. Like, it's not. It's not the funnest work. It's shoulders, it's pole pruning, loppers. But I mean, friends, we just yarded a ton out of this thing. I won't put you straight into the sun because we all know that that's not the greatest. See, there's one there. We'll straighten it out. It's actually not that bad, but I will do some. Now, what I do when I get suckers out, friends, this is what I do. And everybody's got their own opinions and everybody's going to do their thing and say, hey, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. Well, sure, do all those things you're talking about. Go for it. You're probably not going to kill the thing, but we got a couple things we got to deal with. We got to mow the lawn, right, friends? We got to mow the lawn. How you doing? Right, so you can't have this stuff in your face. I mean, you know, so that we're not in total, I call full squirt. We're not in full squirt yet. So we can go in here now, friends, and do some of this here now. But where you take a bud, see, here's some crossover right here. This guy comes down, it's nice old wood. It's not necessarily crossed over. Now it's nice, actually. I'm gonna go to here. See this? And start to thin this. I'm liking the way this is looking, actually. I'll be honest. There's some new wood that we don't need. Just take that young wood. Try and keep your fruiting branches going. We got a bunch of madness here. Here's something going straight up. Get some air in there. Right, friends? Get some air. Try to, if you want a bud to grow that way, then prune to a bud either going down, like this is now growing down. The next one, this all looks pretty good in here. This guy I don't want that growing in there, so I may take this to here. Now that'll grow down there and this way.
So friends, to give you a little consensus of what's on my mind here, they fruit like crazy. They do. These trees fruit like mad. We're not making applesauce. We're not trying to maximize our fruit. There are different styles of pruning if you want to maximize. There's also a fruit pruning. And that comes in when your clusters of fruit, there's like 6 or 7 or 8. Do you know what I mean, friends? Like there's so much to learn, and you can go down a rabbit hole of all these things and training. It's an amazing journey, actually. I did it years ago, friends. I did, because when in my tree service, I would get people, you know, do you do fruit trees? I'm like, yeah, I do. I don't particularly like doing them. It's finicky. But in the beginning, I remember because I didn't know much about them. I remember feeling, like I said in the beginning of the video, like, you know, this is someone's tree. I don't want to screw it up. Did I ever screw it up? No, because you can't really kill them, friends. You'd have to do something horrible to do it, to kill the tree, or to reverse some kind of thing it's going to do. The tree, you know how apple trees go, friends. 1 year you get a bumper crop, the next 2 years are kind of whatever. Don't tell me you don't know this. If you've got fruit trees, that's what happens. Sometimes no fruit. It's a lot to do with the bees and the whole out there, right? We can't answer those questions. But what I do know is that I'm not pruning for anything in specific. To be honest with you, I think it would be more for aesthetics, and what comes for fruiting is a bonus. It's a bonus, but I do know this: when you scrape, you know, up growth, and you thin, the energy that comes up from the root system and goes to the fruiting limbs is more intense, and the fruit will become bigger, not so small. You know, these are small apple trees. Like the species are small. But we'll look at this year, friends. We will, because these are topics that people, they come across in their life, and I like to share this stuff and my journey with it. What I'm really happy about, and I've actually documented it, is my little maple out the front there, and you guys know my little landscape that I get all excited about in the spring. It's looking phenomenal right now. But I need to hear you in the comment section. I mean, I'll just put it up anyway. And it's, you know how this channel is all over the place. One day we're doing this, one day we're doing that. That's what makes it fun here. So, yeah. Anyway, I love my trees. Fruit tree pruning, if you want to get into it and you're going to plant an orchard, there are basics you need to know. And then you can go down rabbit holes. I'm not a rabbit hole guy. It's a tree. Oh, and I do want to add, too, that it is a little bit late in the season to be pruning right now. A little bit, but it's not terrible. I've seen guys do it in dead summer. The tree's fine. But optimal is dormancy, obviously, friends.
This guy here, it's pretty green in here. I'm going to aerate a bit. I'm going to take that right out of there and just create some air, friends. You know, a lot of this is fine. I think I'll shoot this guy maybe off that way. Maybe lose this character. Like, there's a lot of... You're not going to murder it, friends. you're not. I like these here. This guy's kind of new growth here. You can see it. I'll leave it. Do an experiment. See what happens with that growth. I always say this to folks that are pruning fruit trees. I always say, don't just tip everything. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, so what I just done, friends, in here is I came in here and I did a little bit of this kind of directional. Like, see this branch right here, friends? Right here? I haven't tipped it yet. It's an experiment. I'll leave it. If I go around and do that to everything, do you know what I mean by that, friends? Like, here's one here. I'll show you what I mean. Like this needs to come up. It does. So if I do this to every single one, then I'm only going to know what that particular prune is going to do. So let's lose that. Let's get this guy growing down. It's very thick. It hasn't been pruned in years, friends. So experiment with your trees. Find out what that is going to do. What's this going to do? It's going to fruit maybe, right? So look at how hairy this thing is, friends. To be honest, it's very hairy, but you see all these little guys going up? They don't have to. They can stay or they can go. I'll probably take some of them. Out of here. Let's maybe shorten. Let's put this one here, and that bud will shoot growing down now. And to the side. Let's go like this. There. Now we've shortened that, and we've changed the direction of growth to over here now, down. Okay? So wherever you see, look at here, friends. Look at this mess. I mean, this is getting a little bit hairy. It is. Let's be honest. It's getting a bit nuts. I'm just going to go in very gingerly and maybe do a slight bit of pruning in here. Just aeration, little thinning. Like this. This is some old wood. Let's go to the top. Grab that guy out of there. This guy don't need to be shooting straight up there neither. This guy is actually gnarly. I'm gonna reach up and kick it in a can and get it growing down now, like that. See that? But we've got quite a bit of growth here. Let's pull this guy out. There. Let's get him out of there. And there's some air. Here's one here. We can kick over to the side a little bit. There we go. Let's put a bud growing down right there. It's not science. It isn't, friends. But see how nicer that looks in there? A little bit of air in there. I'm not going to go around and tip everything. This is how I experiment to see where these trees get to. I just need to mow my lawn and you know, we don't make applesauce. We're not trying to maximize fruit. I mean, obviously that's what you want. Get in here, loosen things up. Here's some dead wood. Here we go. This all looks very nice. It's starting to look really good. It's looking kind of cared for again. I like it. I like it. Friends, I'm starting to really like this. I mean, mowing the lawn, I want to kind of leave that guy right there just for an experiment to see what goes on there. It is a little lower than I would like though. That's the only thing. We got a lot of foliage on the ground here right now. I mean, I guess I could nail this guy right here. There, and then see what happens in there. Let's maybe kick this guy out and over this way. Over there. We got some crossover action here. It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but it doesn't really need to be there. Let's kick it here and see if we get some inner fruiting branches there. See how nice and aerated that looked? And all I did was a couple little prunes in there, friends. Just a little bit, just to free things up so it's separate. I think I'll leave that guy right there, actually. But now we can mow a little easier. I'm gonna kick this guy up a notch here. You know, I should show you something, friends. I think I'm just gonna show you by hand. Okay, let's back out a bit. See this wispy stuff? Okay, we're looking good here now. This is starting to smarten up. Right in here, look at here. Okay, I'll bring you on the inside. Okay, so see all this? It's kind of like right? It's nothing, it's not terrible. It's not. But look where it's coming from. You see, there's quite a bit of stuff going on there. And you got a big fruiting branch right here, this guy. So don't be afraid to go in here, selectively remove one. Just do some thinning. Pick one off the main source. It comes from right there, rolls up and comes over. I took it right there. See that prune right there, dead center in the screen. It rolls down into here now, and it's a little nicer. But you do have, here, let's do this. Okay, aeration. This guy here, let's just see what happens when we go S. Snipperoni. Look. So we just freed this up in here. Just gave it air. It's not hurting anything, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Just don't be afraid. See, here's one here. Look, friends, here it is. It's coming from way in there, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? These come from way over there, friends. So let's not get too excited. Good. Snipperoni there, some aeration. And there she be. Hello, Mr. Fruit Tree. That's good for this year. I'm serious, friends. I'm not getting carried away. We got a lot of fruiting branches here. See it? Let's see how it does this year after a huge prune. You see? Look at all this. This is a producer, friends. It throws fruit. Trust me, it does. I may come over here and lose some of this now. See? And I can actually get this by hand, just in here, right at the source. You see? So we can do a little bit of thinning and pushing back here, see? There. This here we can take here and redirect this, maybe over here to this bud. See? This, I hit this one, so it's gonna grow that way now. Over here, we can shoot that one, go that way. Caterpillars here. All right, well, there we are. Beautiful, healthy, spacious apple tree. With like nice aerated, healthy fruiting wood. And it's not hammered. I did not hammer it. Look at all the space. Like it was haywire. You got to get them suckers out because it's just wasted fuel for the fruit, right? So you get all that out of there and then utilize old wood. I'm very tickled with the outcome here. And there's a ton more that could be done, but we're into growth season. I'm not opening any big wounds right now. I'm very tickled with that. And that guy over there, just give it a little go too. Chiclancarons, just shave the top off it. But this has got me happy. This has got me very happy. The whole process took about 2 hours. It's about 3 in the afternoon. And again, look at that arbutus, friends. Are you with me? Look at this freaking thing. It's going into flower right now. Oh, I love my trees, friends. Okay, so it gives you a better idea when you can get light behind it so you can see. So we'll go, you guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. There you go. There's a good shot of her. Hey, just, yep, looks good.
Yeah. Well, friends, these are things that old Buck and Billy Ray has to do from time to time on our property. This one and that one over there. Friends, you should have seen what I got into yesterday. It's the first time probably in quite a while that I literally like swung a tool. I was fixing my woodshed. It's been a bothersome thing for me through this year, and last year it was leaning. And we, you should have seen it. I had ropes going, 4x4s. Myrtle was even in the game. She had a rope on her, pulling her to, it was nuts. I spent the day on it. And I was, you know, pulling the rotten wood forward and then going out behind the fence and getting, you know, carving up shims and slamming them into the ground with a 10-pound sledgehammer. trying to get a season or two out of her because there's so much on the go right now, friends. There's so much on the go. And just happy it's spring. Don't be afraid to prune your trees. Do a little education on the internet. Go to a qualified source, which I am not. I mean, I'm not afraid to go at something. That's just how it is. You're not going to kill it. Some people scrape everything. You'll see those fruit trees that are scraped right off and that's definitely a way to do it. That is a way to do that. It's too late for me to do that. I don't want to completely expose all those wounds in the hot sun right now. So there's quite a few things you got to think about. But if you're just doing an aesthetic prune, leave some foliage up top to hide wounds. And you know what I mean? There's lots to think about doing it. But you're definitely not going to murder the poor guy. Enjoy your trees. I can't wait to kind of show you the front here a little bit. I'll show you in a video. I'll keep a little blurb going in on that maple. She's in full bloom right now. You know my little Japanese maple? Yeah, I did some pruning on it last year that I didn't share with you guys. I just was out there and I had to do it. It was dormant, and it was time to open up a couple, bigger wounds than I usually do on that tree. And if you enjoy these videos, friends, these perhaps educational or at ease videos, don't worry about it. Just click the thumbs up and smash me a comment. Tell me about your fruit tree pruning episodes. Catch you on the next one, friends. Work hard, be honest, and be kind.